In Class 8, we're going to get into specific compression techniques for drums and percussion. So this is like some of the very specific things that you would encounter when working with some of these elements. So in working with kick drums and snare drums, there are certain things in the way that you adjust gates and compressors and the way that you work with them that make them more effective, that make them functionally really, getting the most out of them. How you set the attack and release times, getting into the real numbers and guts of it, how you work with toms, compressing hi-hats and overheads and room tracks, and side chaining them, and all the different techniques and ways of working with them, and also getting into programmed drums, because you think, well, what would be more consistent than programmed drums? So there is something that you still can create a dynamic movement within stuff that's programmed and sequenced, and especially working with loops, bringing out different elements that are a part of a drum loop, maybe a hi-hat or something that's too low in level or too loud, and how you control it and pulling in. So we really get into a lot of the different compression techniques that are specific to things like this in percussion, and staging them correctly and getting the groove and the movement involved with them. We'll revisit some things like side chaining techniques and parallel compression techniques and layering compression, and getting into some of those. What are the best vintage components that work with drums and percussion, so that you know what selections are going to be most helpful in terms of helping you to capture the sound of what you want to do. This is something that to get into examples would just take way too long, and I think it really just kind of, you need to get an idea of what this is all about. Just give like a basic idea or direction based off of all the information in the previews for the previous classes. You will see that in vivid detail here in class number 8. So we'll make this a short preview, but we'll move on to class number 9.